girls, today we're going to be learning about frogs. Now, we've been talking about animals on the pond, and one animal that definitely lives in a pond is a frog. So, this is what a grown up frog looks like, okay? Now, before we talk about what it looks like, what does a frog sound like? What does a frog say? He says, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. So, here is my frog. And the first thing I notice about a frog is he has really big eyes. So I'm going to take eyes, eyes, I starts with E, I, and I'm going to put it here because the frog has eyes just like we do. The next thing I noticed about this frog was his nostrils. Just like us, frogs have nostrils. Next, he has a mouth. Mouth starts with M. Okay, the next thing he has, just like us, a belly. Frogs have a belly. Belly. Belly starts with B. Next, a frog has legs. Legs. Leg starts with L. The last part of a frog is webbed feet. Now, we have toes, but we don't have webbed feet. Webbed feet is when it sticks together. So we have separate fingers, but frogs, they're not separate. They're all stuck. They have a webbing that sticks between their fingers and toes. So, a frog has webbed webbed feet. Webbed starts with W. Now, this is what a frog looks like when it's grown up. But did you know that a frog doesn't look like that his whole life? Oh no. A frog actually has a whole lifetime where he changes, just like we do. First, you start out a baby, and then you become a toddler. You start walking, and soon you become a teenager, and then you become an adult. All right? So, just like people, we grow up, so do frogs. So, here's what a frog looks like when he's grown up. But can I show you what a frog looks like when he's first born, when he's a baby? See, a frog isn't like us. He doesn't live in his mom's belly, and then when he comes out of his mom's belly, he's alive. That's not quite how it is with frogs. A frog actually is an egg. Do you see what he looks like when he's an egg? He's just a little speck in these little clear circles here, and that's what he looks like when he's a baby. He's an egg. Next, when he hatches out of the egg, when he cracks out of the egg, he becomes a tadpole. So a tadpole has a tail. You guys see that tail? So he becomes a tadpole. So egg, tadpole. But that doesn't look like a frog yet. So he still has some growing up that he needs to do. So next, he is still a tadpole, but he gets legs. So do you see how he has little tiny legs there? Yeah. See, he is an egg and then a tadpole, and then he's a tadpole with legs. But does he look like a frog yet, or does he still have growing he needs to do? He still has growing. So next, he becomes a little froglet. See, he still keeps his tail, but now he got bigger legs and they're bendy, and then he got two arms. So he's a froglet. Now, does he look like a frog yet? See, he's an egg, and then he's a tadpole. Then he's a tadpole with legs. Then he's a froglet. But there's one more thing that he needs to do. he becomes an adult. He becomes a grown-up frog. So in our life cycle of a frog, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps until he becomes an adult. Okay? So egg, tadpole, tadpole with legs, froglet, and adult frog. When he's an adult, he looks like this. So sometimes through his life, he may not always have all of these parts. He's not born with webbed feet or nostrils, but he gets them as he grows up. So this is a frog's life, and then this is what the frog looks like when he grows up and lives on the pond. Boys and girls, I'm so glad I got to talk about frogs with you today. Frogs are really cool, and if you've seen any frogs, I would love to hear your stories about what you've seen. Now, today, you will be drawing a picture of a frog. I want you to make sure you include webbed fingers and toes in your picture. I want you to include nostrils. I want you to include a mouth, eyes, and a belly and legs. So make sure you include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You want to include 6 body parts of our frog, okay? I can't wait to see your beautiful artwork and designs. See you next time.